kind of made Dion Waiters a little bit of the scapegoat of trying to get things here going. Now, if Dion Waiters is not the player, it's not the coach, it's not it's now if they continue to struggle a little bit here, then you could kind of figure out, well, who's next on the chopping block. I mean, um is it going to be you can find out who's next on the chopping block. Is it going to be, David Black? Because right now, he's doing. I mean, he is just they're just not gelling. It doesn't seem like here. They're not gelling. They're not doing pretty well. Just to get into this. They've just been struggling. It's just been a struggle. It's just been a struggle just to get through right here. I don't know what's going to happen right now. They just not getting anything about, and it's just been crazy right now. So, but I still think that they're going to be right there when the season ends. Of course, they're gonna make the playoffs, and of course, they're gonna find themselves in at least the second round of the playoffs, give them a pretty good draw. So, I mean, I'm not that worried about them. I think that they're gonna be pretty good. I think they're gonna be pretty all right. Things happen for a reason in this one, but then again, I mean, they're gonna be okay. They should be straight. So I would not worry about it too much. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be okay. And if they could make that run, and that's going to be one of those things, if they make that run, watch out. They could wind up with a pretty good seed. But right now, winnable. But the East doesn't have that many teams that are blowing people away. But then again, you have to be really excited about the East because it seems like everybody can win the East right now, especially with Miami being broken up, and especially with the other different teams that are out there. Kind of just like Atlanta's been playing pretty well; they're still the number one seed in the East, and then you also got Washington that's pretty up there. Toronto's up there as well, and everybody's just playing pretty well in the East right now that you don't get a chance to see, and it's just blowing some new blood into the year. Be happy about that. You have to be very excited about that. Now, another team out there in the East that has really turned some heads lately is after I mean they started off the season 5-22, and this is when they had Josh Smith, and then they decided to trade Josh Smith, decided to actually cut him, just cut Josh Smith, just said they didn't want to have anything to do with him, and now the Detroit Pistons have won 5 straight games 7 straight games right now, and they just beat the Dallas Mavericks in this one. It's just amazing to see right now what Detroit is doing right now. I mean, it's just been amazing what they've been doing. They're continuing to play pretty well. I mean, it's just like Josh Smith is a very good player and is a very good talent, but it seems like right now what Josh Smith was doing was kind of holding back Detroit a little bit, and they've gotten back to playing the style of basketball that they really want to play. They got Drummond, they got Andre Drummond, who's a monster right now at the center position. Greg Monroe is a very good player at power forward, and they got themselves a very formidable front court that can stop any team at any given day. Now, the next thing is that after that, they have themselves a pretty good. They have Brandon Jennings, who like I said, I wouldn't consider him, um, I wouldn't consider him the point guards or anything else like that. But he's been very serviceable. He's been playing pretty well as of late, and the Pistons have continued to do well. They continue to play pretty well. So you have to give them some props right now. They're continuing. They're trying to get right back there. Stand 108-95 win against Dallas. Defeated San Antonio 105-104, and that's just amazing here to see what they continue to do. Now to get another hot team that's going to come to Detroit, and they're facing against the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta has been playing lights out as well. They're 27-8. They're the first seed in their conference, and they have been playing lights out. And a lot of people have been really surprised about what they've been doing. They are a very good team that can continue to do pretty well. They have themselves a great lineup. They don't have superstars. Mike Budenholzer, who came from San Antonio, has gotten them to play the San Antonio style of basketball, and right now they're the number one seed. They don't have a star, but guess what? They've been playing pretty well. So you have to give them that. As long as they can continue to keep that up, they should be all right. They should be straight here. They're gonna be pretty decent. They're gonna be pretty good. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen between the both of them, and to see what's gonna happen here. Other than that, right now, here you have to give them some props. A whole lot of things here. They're continuing to play pretty well. They're continuing to do pretty well. And again, the East is down. Anybody can win the East this year. That's the one thing that a lot of people are continuing to say. We can win the East. A lot of teams can win the East. And right now, Atlanta has that spot by 2.5 games. So that's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen at the rest of the part. Right now, the Eastern Conference is shaking up like this. Atlanta is number 1, Toronto's number 2, Chicago is number 3, and Washington is number 4. And right now, those look to be your top 4 seeds by a good margin. Washington leads Cleveland by 5.5. So there's gonna be 5 clear teams that are great in the East here. I still think Cleveland does turn things around, especially when LeBron gets back into the game, gets back out there for Cleveland. I still think that Cleveland is going to wind up with somewhere possibly maybe like the 4 or the 3 seed or something, and we'll see from there. Then you got Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Miami, and then Indiana, Boston, Charlotte, and Detroit. And it could be still crazy that what if like Detroit or any of these other teams make it to the playoffs and Brooklyn, let's say Brooklyn slips all the way out, the Hawks could wind themselves up with as great years they've been having. They could wind themselves up with a lottery pick, and that could be another crazy thing, which we would never expect them to have at this point in time. Now, going into the Western Conference, the West has been has been a meat grinder as of late. Golden State is number 1, but still you got Portland nipping at their heels. Memphis has kind of went down a little bit, but Memphis is still the number 3 team. Dallas is number 4, despite the loss to Detroit. Then you got Houston, the Clippers, San Antonio, and Phoenix And then after that, you still have New Orleans. You still have to worry about OKC, who, despite their shortcomings at the start of the season, they are right there, three back. And then Denver, which even though they did give up Mozgov, I think they're just playing for the future right now. Still pretty decent team, still pretty good team here to go out there. It says 16-20. Sacramento, I don't know what's going to happen with them. They fired their coach, of course, but 14-20, and I never really expected Utah to be right there, 13-23, but there they are. The Lakers are 11-24, and Minnesota's 5-28, and sinking in the Western Conference. So, that's going to be a decent point here to see what's going to happen between those teams, and we will see what can come about here. Anything else like that, I have not the slightest to see what's going to happen here, but we don't know what could happen. We don't know what could be pretty nice here and there. And then I guess the last but not least here, we have to talk about the MLB Hall of Fame. I think they pretty much got it right this year. Randy Johnson, John Smoltz, Randy Johnson, John Smoltz, Pedro Martinez, and also Craig Biggio. I think they pretty much had it right. Unfortunately, there were a few players that did not make it in there. Jeff Bagwell's got 55% of the vote. I still think that Barry Bonds should get in one of these days. If you take away the years that everybody was thinking that he was on steroids, he still has a very good Hall of Fame career. You do have a very good case to put him in the Hall of Fame, so I will give him that. Roger Clemens, kind of a little iffy on that, but I think that he might be still a Hall of Famer without the steroids. If he didn't have the steroids, he would still be a Hall of Famer. And then you could also say that Mike Piazza, he should have got in. Next year, he probably will get in with the 70. He was close to 70% of the vote here. He's going to get in, I would think. So I would not be really worried about either one of those guys out there for them. But I still think that, that's an interesting point, and that's an interesting guideline to see right now. So I don't know. I mean, what happens here, and we will see what's to be dealt with here. Looking at the different ballots here, of course, here you got a chance to see Randy Johnson here for a good stretch of a decade here. He was one of the more feared pitchers in Major League Baseball, especially when he was with the Seattle Mariners. Seeing him and King Griffey Jr. play with each other, and also, helping the Mariners make it to the playoffs for the first time ever in 1995. That he got 97.3% of the vote. That's an amazing accomplishment right there, and it all coupled with that one in 2001 with the Arizona Diamondbacks, where they had one of the best 1-2 punches at that time between him and Curt Schilling. Randy Johnson was amazing, very good pitcher here. Had for 3 straight seasons, he had at least 330 strikeouts. And that's an amazing mark. He had 372 in 2001, 334 in 2002, and that was probably his better season. He thrived when he went to the National League. So, that's an amazing accomplishment right there for him. And he had He did a